your website, for example, that's something you can include in the Society app. We came up with this because there's always a lot of engagement through the event, through a conference, but we see that this engagement is basically decreasing when everyone goes back to their homes. So that's the reason why we want to keep this interaction and engagement going throughout the year with our Society app. As you can see, you can include multiple tiles in the year-round app. You have to think you have to see it as basically two platforms: the event platform and then the year-round platform. In the year-round platform, you can, for example, include the news feed. So any newsletter that you're sending out, any registration coming up for a next event, a video, for example, anything that basically you would send out by email or you would post on your website, you'll be able to post it as well in the app. Also an important fact is that you can send a push notification so that you get straight into your members or your users' pocket. Besides that, as you can see in the third image, we came up also with what we called topical chat or community forum. So from the organization point of view, you can come up with different topics so that the users can discuss regarding these topics throughout the year. The reason we do that is basically to keep the interaction going, not only during conference dates, but also throughout the year. Any type of news and insights is always helpful. Again, you're using two platforms in one, the event platform and the Society app platform. And in the Society app, you can send push messages as well as in the event environment. Then, for each event, you have a powerful platform, especially starting with the program. The program is, well, we're used to work with clients, with organizations and societies that normally have quite a lot of content or an extended program. So for us, it's very important to have a very structured program where everything is very easy to find, where even though you have a lot of text, the overview is very clear, where you can have, as you can see in the second image, a very good searchable, customizable section in the app that you can view, for example, the program in multiple ways, that you can also find, for example, a session based on the session type or track or topic. And of course, the abstract part. Each abstract is something that contains a lot of text. So it's important to have a good overview and that you can also include images if necessary. And then last but not least, we have the floor plan. We have an advanced interactive floor plan that you can access either through the program when you open a session or presentation, but also when, for example, you want to go directly to the floor plan, click on the exhibition area and see all the exhibitors that are exhibiting there. You can click on their name, you can open their profile, and besides that, you also have meeting rooms that you can click and see all of the sessions that are happening there. So in other words, there are multiple ways to work with the floor plan. All right, so in terms of interactive features, that's always something very important for you guys. There are multiple ways. One of them we have just seen is topical chat. You can use that one throughout the year. And the other ones is the ones that I'm presenting here, which are based on each, which are per event. So for example, in the program, per session, you can have a group chat. Group chat that everyone can comment on this particular session or presentation. And then from there on, you can also click on someone's profile or message and then chat one-on-one. We also have the option to offer a Q&A, so you can ask questions through the app to the speaker or the moderator. Besides that, you also have the option to send your question anonymously or with your profile. After that, we also have the live polling or the voting. This is everything you can pre-select and prepare in advance. Of course, not all of the sessions have votings, but we definitely suggest to have them so you can, you know, increase the interaction and the engagement in each session. The voting, of course, you can prepare in advance. And as you can see in the third image, once I'm in a voting, in a session, I will see when a voting is active. So it's not that I have to guess that I have to click on a button, but the voting will appear in the screen of this session. Other items that we created recently are the evaluation forms, which is very important to gather feedback from the users. And these evaluation forms can also be prepared in advance and included on each session. In terms of sponsorship, there are multiple ways to offer to your sponsors visibility in the app. One of them, for example, would be on a year-round, on the year-round platform, on the Society platform. You can offer them a tile that links basically to their website with our logo, and there they will be visible the entire year. So actually that's a great way to promote your sponsors, especially if you have different level of sponsorships. Another way is to include, for example, a banner, so as you can see in the first image, on the newsfeed. The newsfeed is basically where once you open an event within the Society app, you will get into the newsfeed. And here basically you can find any type of news that the organization is sending out regarding that event. But also it tells you, if you have favorite a particular session, it will tell you, hey, this session is starting now, or hey, there's this vote going on. You can click here and participate. It also, there you can also publish comments or pictures. So it's an area that's being used a lot, and there you can include a banner, a clickable banner of a sponsor. Now, the same with a particular session. You can include a banner on a session if it's a sponsored session or a satellite symposium. Besides that, on the section of industry, this is a little bit how the profile of a sponsor looks like, as you can see in the third picture. You have a logo. You can also include another image as a background on top. You can go to the floor plan to see where they are located. You can include any type of additional information, as well as a direct link to send them an email. It's integrated with the email of your phone or tablet. And of course, you can also include the link to their website. Now, if you have, for example, the list of all the sponsors, you can also have, for example, one sponsor highlighted if they are a gold sponsor, for example. And last but not least, in the list in the program, you can also include, as you can see there, a small logo so that it's very clear which session is sponsored. Of course, our app comes with a powerful CMS. As you can see here, the CMS looks very similar to the app itself, so it's very user-friendly. I will explain in a couple of slides how we work as a support, but you will receive a training on how to use the CMS. You will be able to customize the app and match the brand and the event with the colors. Also, the data can be imported in the CMS through Excel templates, or we can integrate with different channels. And as I said, the news messages also are available on the Society and also per event, and this can be prepared also in advance to be sent out. Besides that, you also have what we call the community section, in where you will see all the list of all your users that downloaded the app, created a profile. And what's very important is that with this list, you can send, for example, an invite to download another event in the Society app to these profiles. So for example, if you have a second PhD seminar or a smaller event, You can send an invite to the users that already downloaded the app so that they just install the app with one click. So it's really a great way to increase installations and the users for your events. We integrate with multiple systems, for example, with event and abstract management systems. We also do single sign-on so that the users can sign in the app using their account. We also integrate with your membership database so that they can access their membership profile. And this is a great way also to, for example, restrict certain parts of the society app for members or non-members so that you increase even more the value of being a member. And last but not least, we also can integrate with registration softwares. Now, how do we work? With us, you will always have a customer success manager. This means that you will receive a training on how to use our backend, our CMS, but you will always have a person, your contact person, that will be with you throughout the entire agreement. So it can be multiple years, and they will be helping you out with everything. So we understand you have a lot of work, a lot of things on your plate. So our aim is to help you out with everything so that you don't have to do everything yourself, or that you don't have to call us and have always a different person on the line. Well, so far, the event app. What is very important, I think most of you will be also interested in this, is the virtual event platform. Now, unfortunately, we have gone through a tough period, and still are, and therefore we were forced to look for other type of ways to keep these conferences going. One of the ways, of course, is a platform for virtual or hybrid events. Virtual is definitely very important, but hybrid, I think, is even more important because that's probably where we're going into the next couple of months or even the next year or years. Well, we come up with a virtual event platform. This is launching end of this month. Well, this month, I mean July. And basically, with this event platform, you can expand your mobile platform into a virtual meeting platform with our web app as a prime interface, while the mobile app connects you continuously with your audience. If you are using your own virtual platform, we can also connect the app with your virtual platform, or even, as you can see in option 2, we can also integrate your own live streams with our interactive features. For example, asking a question to the moderator or the live polling. But what's really the third option, what is the best user experience, is to purchase our own custom-built virtual event platform. So that's an event platform that we have built ourselves. And this is how it works. Now, there are 4 use cases for our virtual event platform. You have the moderated sessions, you have the poster presentations, the roundtable discussions, and the one-on-one meetings. I will explain all of them. So let's start first with the moderated sessions. This is what you can see over here. Now you have the opportunity to either pre-record yourself or, of course, just record yourself live. This platform, by the way, is always connected with the web app and with the app, which means that we offer also a web app. That's the app available on the browser. We can embed that also with your website so that your users can access the event through a laptop or a desktop computer. This is all integrated with, so the virtual platform is integrated with the app and the web app. How do you access it? Well, basically you go in the app on your tablet, on your phone, or on the web app. You go to the program, and when you see something interesting, you just click on the link to join the virtual session. So that's how you access it. Once you join the virtual session, you can join it through, again, your phone, your tablet, or the web app. You will get into, for example, this part here, the moderated session. Now you have the option to include slides. You can also disable it if you just want to present yourself. And as I said, this is connected with the web app, so you can multitask. If you want to see the profile of the speaker, you can do that. You can click on the speaker and yeah, go over his or her profile. If you want to, for example, include a polling, we definitely recommend to do that, because then you can keep the interaction and engagement going in a session. Then it's also possible. Well, how this works, you will receive also training from our side on how to prepare the questions in advance and how to present it. Every time that a user is voting, the graphs are updating automatically. In terms of interactive features, well, you have 3 options that you can also put them available or not. It's up to you. The first one would be the chats. Basically here, it would be the same function as the group chat on the app for each session. It works very similar as here in Zoom. Per session, your attendees can chat one another. If you also find someone or a comment interesting, you can click on it and then chat one-on-one. The Q&A is definitely something that we recommend using, especially at the end of a session, in where the speaker or the moderator will be able to see the questions that have been asked the most. And from the user perspective, if I have a question and I see already a question that has been asked, I just click on the heart. And then the last part will be an attendee list. So basically you can see all the participants attending a particular session. And also as a user, I can click on it on one attendee and chat as well. All right, so let's jump to the moderator view. There are multiple ways on how you can use this, the moderated sessions. Basically, you can give a lot of control both to the moderator or also to the speakers if you don't have a lot of moderators available. There will be the option to have, if you have multiple speakers, you can include them all on the same screen. And from here, from this dashboard, you can control everything. So the slides, the Q&A, other presentations that are going on. You can moderate, of course, multiple presentations if you want. You can give the option to present to someone and also to share the screen. So basically, this is how it works. As you can see here on the bottom, you can see that you're broadcasting, which means you're live. And you also have a timer that tells you when the session is starting and also when the session is ending, which is very useful so that you keep up with the time. Well, for the ones that have poster presentations, we also offer this option, the poster presentations. It works quite similar. The difference here is that the attendees are connected with their camera and microphone. Of course, they can decide to not use their camera and also to be muted. But basically, it's a way to have also some interaction going in these presentations. You can zoom in and zoom out as a presenter on your poster and as a speaker as well. And also you can include your own camera. Then the roundtable discussions. It's also quite similar. You have the attendees accessing with their camera and microphone. The idea is that it is very similar as normal roundtable discussions in physical events. So you would have multiple roundtables with one presenter and people are joining. In principle, there will be a maximum number of participants, but that's more up to you what this maximum will be. Once again, you can access all these sessions through the program in your app, on your tablet, or on the web app. Another item here is that all the attendees can still chat with each other and can network. So it's a great way to still have a normal roundtable discussions, but then virtually. And last but not least, the one-on-one private meeting. How do you access this virtual private meeting? Well, you go to an attendee list, or you find someone in the attendee list of a particular session. You can chat with them. You can also send friends, well, not friends, but a connection request, which means that then if that other person accepts you, you will see a bit more detailed information about this person. For example, an email or a phone number or a social media channel. And you can also schedule an appointment. Now, when you have scheduled an appointment and the other person has accepted, it will create a link to access this private meeting. So that's basically the 4 use cases of the virtual event platform. We are here, we include our preferred, I mean, not our preferred partners, but we are the preferred partners of these associations over here. As I said, we work with European societies, with American societies. We also work with publishers like ASAE and with a lot of PCOs all over the world. If you want to see some of our examples, you can download here a couple of examples like the European Society of Cardiology. They're our clients since, I think, already 9 years in a row. Northwestern Medicine, the cardiology part as well. And the European Society of Urology are great examples of a society app with multiple events. Once again, it's not necessary that you have multiple events. You can have an annual event and still have a society app. So yes, if you want to receive the slides, if of course, I guess price is something that interests you, just connect me, send me an email. You can also call me and I'll be more than happy to provide you with more information.
So thank you, Núria. Do me a favor, if you will, and email me a copy of those slides, and I'll certainly make them available to all the attendees here. There's a couple of questions that in the Q&A session. I'll read them off to you, if you will, and give me an answer for that. One of the questions was, is this product only a mobile app, or can people access it via browsers as well?
Right, yes, good question. People can access it via the browser. That's why the web app is needed for this. But once again, it's not that you need the entire package. You need the app because the web app is pulling the information from the app. But definitely this is available on the browser, yes.
Got it, got it, got it. Another question is as to whether or not in the various chat areas can those chats be moderated?
In a certain way, it can be moderated for just in the way that if someone is sending a chat message that's inappropriate, it can be reported and eliminated from the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can attendees be imported from an AMS system like your membership or some other kind of AMS system?
Yes, definitely it can, yes.
Okay, and does that hold for registrations, et cetera?
Exactly, we need to do an integration for that. So yes, that's also an added cost, but yes, we can definitely do that. Otherwise, we can import a list of that, and that's just with an Excel spreadsheet.
Cool. And here's a kind of a general question. Are you seeing attendees participate in virtual environments via mobile devices the most, or are they still using the web app the most?
Yes, well, it's still hard to say. Well, from our side, of course, we are launching our virtual platform now end of July, so we cannot really say that. But what we've seen so far is that they basically use both options to multitask. So for example, if you can work on the web app, but for example, use the app to send out questions or do a quick polling. But for us, it's early stages still to answer that.
Got it. I think those are the basic questions that were in there. And Again, thank you for being here. We appreciate you being here. And if you'll send me a copy of the slides and any other resources that you might want to share with folks, we'll certainly share it, okay?
Definitely, yeah. So a couple of videos as well, product videos of 3 minutes, so I'll send it out to you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank
Great.
you all, take care.
All right, folks, so I'm going to take this time to answer a couple of questions that I see here in the chat area. One of the questions that's come up yesterday and today was how did we select the vendors who are presenting here? I'll tell you that the vendors self-selected. We did a call for vendor presentations, and these are the folks that responded. But I hear two things, and I'm going to see what we can do about it. One is I hear that we may need to do another one of these with the additional people. We only had 12 slots, obviously. We certainly had some other companies on the waiting list. So give me a little bit of feedback in the chat as to whether or not people would want to see us do another one of these at some point in time in the near future. Let me know in the chat area about that. The second thing that I'm hearing is that it would be good to have some kind of fact sheet, I guess, developed that allows people to, allows the companies to talk about which features they have, which features they don't have. I'll tell you that we've done that in the past for different kinds of things, and the problem ends up being that most people check off most features, and then you're right back to square one. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it again. And so I'm going to get together with the team here. There are a couple of consultants who help organizations with online learning platforms and virtual platforms that may already have some comparisons. I'll do some research about that within the next week or so, and then make that available via these resources areas we've talked about. Does that make sense for folks? Again, let me know in the chat area, and we'll see what we can do about that. The other question that I saw in the chat area was which one of the ASAE apps should I be looking at? In the App Store, there's a thing that says ASAE Business, and you can tell which app it is by this visual that's there. So please do take advantage of that. Those resources from this virtual event day will be there. Access to collaborators there, access to the association now daily is there, and access to some of our events will be there. This will be one of the primary ways we start to communicate with people in the near future. So we've got a little bit of time between now and the next presentation. My email address is reggie@asaecenter.org. Still need a couple of more people to be on a wrap-up panel. You can certainly email me if you're willing to do that. I'd certainly appreciate it. But I think that's it. So take some time. Next demo will start at approximately 10:30. Thank you. How are you this morning, Brian?
Good. Good morning, Reggie. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Now, Brian, you had sent us an email saying that somebody was going to be joining you. Who was that?
It's just going to be me today.
Just going to be you today? Cool.
Yep.
All right, my friend. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you can test your screen share.
Got it.
Looks like it's working just fine, my man.
Perfect.
Good, good, good. All right, I'm going to grab this back for a second here and put the resting slide back up, but I think we're all set on this end.
All right, great.
All right, we'll be starting at 10:30, okay?
All right. I'll be back.